Hi there, Chris here, day 2 of lockdown here in New Zealand, and I thought I'd follow up yesterday's video with another one about how you might be able to better get onto a TEDx stage. So last time, or yesterday, I told you about what I think is the biggest mistake people make, which is to basically toot your own horn, say how good you are, how much of an expert you are, and what you're going to teach. Partly because you want a better hook than that. You want something that really pops, stands out, and has a different angle, a different bit more intrigue, but mostly because it comes across quite salesy. And TEDx organizers are very sensitive to people getting on their stage and selling things. Firstly, it's against the rules of TEDx, and secondly, it's not very conducive with the audience we have. So today what I'm going to do is talk about what I, as a TEDx curator, look for when I'm trying to choose a speaker, and a little bit about the process we go through. So let's get into it. The first thing is the hook. We've already talked about that a little bit yesterday. You just want an angle or a hook or something that makes you think of things in a different way. So that's pretty important. The next thing was actually 3 questions that I would ask people to answer. Now, if you answer this off the bat, then you're much more likely, if you have good answers for these off the bat, you're much more likely to get into the next round. And in the next round, I'm very specific about asking these 3 questions. But the 3 questions that are important are, why is this important? Why is it important? Your topic, why is it important? What does it do for people? Now, it might be more art. Say you're into comedy. It's important to make people laugh, particularly in these times, right? So why is it important? Is it a cause? Are you going to save the planet? Is it a new scientific breakthrough that's going to change our understanding? Is it just an experience that you've had that you think more people should know about because they're not going to be in a position to have that experience, and it make some sort of transformation in your perspective or in your life, right? So why is it important? And you have to be passionate about that when you answer this question. It's important because that's not going to cut it. Why is it important? The next thing is, so that's why is it important? Next thing is, why now? Why is now the time to be talking about this? Why shouldn't I just leave this till next year? I could get you on next year. Why now? Why not last year? Are we past the time? I would have thought that was old news, right? Why? So why is it important? Why now? And then why you? Why are you the person to be talking about this? Why are you the person that should be on stage telling my audience about this amazing thing? And one of the reasons that this is a big question is we do get a lot of people who they've read something, or they've heard something, or they've done a course on something, and it's a revelation to them, and they're really excited and passionate about it, which is great. And then they just want to tell the world. If it's not your idea, or if you don't have a direct experience or transformation that's come from that idea, then it's unlikely that we're going to want you on the stage, right? So you can absolutely take somebody else's idea and translate it or express it through your own experience. That's absolutely valid, but don't try and regurgitate what somebody else has said without your experience, your own personal input. So that's the thing. So you have a good hook, a good angle, a good way of looking at this. You've got a why is important, why now, and why you. So that's basically what we look for. Now, all of that is also, there's a layer of balancing the day. So we have a bit of a balancing act to do if you're creating an event. And this is for any event, really. And the balancing act is, in our case for TEDx, we're looking at a few different categories that we really must cover. We need to have one techie thing, a gadget of some description, ideally. We want to have some science. We want to have some social justice, some culture, a little bit of art, a medicine type, either psychology or medicine type thing. So there's a few different categories we're looking at, right? And we want to balance that out. We can't have everybody talk about technology because it's just out of balance. Equally, there's that whole diversity thing. So I tend not to worry about this too much, the diversity thing of gender, and some will be very strictly, we have to have equal gender representation, and ethnic diversity as well. So I tend not to worry about that. I don't like the checkbox type approach. But what I have found personally is if I find a diversity of topics, a really good diverse range of topics that we're going to cover, the diversity of the speakers tends to just fix itself. That falls into place. I've virtually never had to go, oh, we need to get more women speakers, or we need, we only had 1 year that seemed to be a little bit out of whack, and I didn't even notice it, to be fair. I was more focused on the topics, but it ended up, just about right. So that's us though. Every TEDx will be different. So some other TEDx might be, we only, we have a checklist. We've got 10 speakers, 5 of them must be female, 5 must be male. We have to have 5 different ethnic minorities. I don't know. That's not how I roll, but that's how some roll. So you just need to be aware of that. Having said that, so once we open up for, so some TEDx will open up and say, apply now to be a speaker, and they'll have a window that you apply. And the way to find out about that is to get on their mailing list. If you go to any TEDx website, they should probably have a website. They'll have a mailing list you can get on. So get on their mailing list and you'll find out. TEDxRuakura, we actually have a link there. It's there all year round, and it just says, nominate a speaker. You can nominate yourself, you can nominate somebody else. Nominate a speaker, go in there and just fill out the form. And then once a year, we'll look at that when we're looking for speakers. So we'll download that whole list, or it goes into a Google form or whatever it does. And then we'll look at those. Now, typically we'd get anywhere from 100 to 250 speakers on that spreadsheet every year. And we'll go through them and we'll weed out pretty quickly the ones that we're not interested in. Anything that's against the sort of rules. So blatantly commercial, pseudoscience or non-scientific, religious, proselytizing, I think that's how you say it, that sort of thing. Those are pretty much out. We also tend to keep away from anything that's consultant or coaching based. If you're a consultant or coach, it's a little bit difficult to work with in general with those people. So if you are, you need to be very mindful of what I say through this process. And then we get a short list. Now we're looking to get a short list, and as I say, we're trying to fill these different slots that we've got, categories if you like, and we get that short list down to about, in our case, 25 people. And we'll send out emails to these 25 people and say, hey, you've been shortlisted to be a speaker at this year's event at TEDxRuakura. What we'd like to do, if you want to take it any further, is email us back with a 2-minute video. I think usually we say 2 minutes. I think 1 year we said 2 or 3 minutes. A video that says, what is it you're talking about? Why is it important? Why are you the person to talk about it? And why should you talk about it now? Why now? So it's those questions I've already asked, and we send that out. Now, the important thing is there'll be a deadline on when that video gets here. The videos come in. You would be surprised how many don't come in by the deadline. We probably wouldn't be surprised by that. You may be surprised how many people send videos that are way over time. If we say a 2-minute video, we want a 2-minute video. You might get away with 2 minutes 5, 2 minutes 10 seconds. That will squeeze in. But I've had people give us a 5-6 minute video for a 2-minute video. They're immediately in the pile of, that's the red pile. We've got red, amber, green. They're going to go in the red pile straight away. If they don't answer those questions that I've asked, what are you talking about? Why is it important? Why are you the person to talk about it? Why now? If you don't answer those questions in the video, you're going probably on the red pile, right? And the only way you'd sort of move off there is if it's a really intriguing idea. The next thing we're looking for is obviously in the video how articulate you are, how passionate you are about your idea or what you want to share, your project or whatever it is. That's huge because that's what's going to translate on the stage. Then when we get that shortlist and we've got the people we're interested in, we'll do some interviews. We'll either do it over Zoom or we will meet them in person, maybe if they're local, whatever. And one of the things we're looking for really at that point is how coachable they are. Now, I've dealt with people, academics can be quite difficult. So professors that have been professors for a long, long time, and they have a certain way that they do things. Now, I've had both ends of that spectrum, to be honest. I've had people that have been professors for many, many years, and they're like, this is out of my comfort zone, this is something new, put it in your hands, just tell us what to do, and they go through and they've learned a new skill and it's great. And I've had the others that say, I know what I'm talking about, I know how I do things, I point to a PowerPoint and I speak to that PowerPoint. That is not going to work for our audience. And this is what you want to know when you're applying for a TEDx. Your TEDx organizer, if they've run this event more than 2 times, know their audience. They know what's going to fly and what's not going to fly. And you need to be coachable in terms of, okay, we need to bring the level of this down a notch to get our people right. You're talking at too high a level, we need to bring it down a notch. Or our audience is a bit more intelligent than the level you're pitching that out. You need to bring it up a notch. We know. So you need to have that give and take in this whole coaching process, while you're preparing for your TEDx talk. So listen to your organizers, listen to your coaches if you have them. Okay, so those are what we're looking for when we are getting someone in. Now, I'm going to leave it there for this video, but I will tell you what I'll go through tomorrow is what you want to do in terms of which TEDx you want to apply for, because not all TEDx's are created equal. And I should say at this point, we're not doing TEDxRuakura this year. 2020 was a major for us, and it burnt out our volunteer force a wee bit. So, so we're giving a miss this year. So I'm not actually looking for a speaker. This is just general information for you folk. However, not all TEDx are created equal, so you want to check a few things. We'll talk about that in the next video. And you may not be, TEDx might not be the stage for you. And there's some pros and cons. And we'll go through all of that in a video I think I'll put together tomorrow, because it's still on lockdown tomorrow. All right, see you then. Take care.